Hey guys, Cruxel. Before we start, I never asked for shit like this, but if you could turn on my notifications if you're subbed, that would be awesome because my videos haven't been going to sub boxes, so it would definitely mean a lot for me. Here's a no bullshit guide to mindset in CSGO. No, I'm not talking about game sense or how to get 200 IQ plays in this video. One, because I'm going over that shit in the later video, and two, because that 200 IQ stuff is clickbait bullshit, so fuck that. First things first, never mute your team. Literally the only time you should ever mute someone on your team is if they're spamming AIDS memes on Slam or some shit. Despite how fucking annoying they might be, keeping open communication on a team is key and is something I covered in my No BS teamwork video earlier this week. The enemy team can and probably should be muted in many situations. If you put this command in your console, it'll pretty much solve all issues that you have with the enemy pissing you off or if they're being fucking idiots in general. Getting tilted is something that even plagues low tier players like me, as well as pros and everyone in between. If you say you've never been tilted before, you're a fucking liar. Tilt is simply getting mad at the game for something for one reason or another. A good rule of thumb for me is when I'm getting tilted, I only get mad at the things that are in my control. There's no point in being a fucking asshole to your team over shit that you have no control over, and it's definitely not something that they can fix for you either. As much as Valve may try to prevent it, there's still a lot of bullshit and randomness in the game, so you really can't let that get to your head. Not even joking here, but if you keep getting really tilted, you can find something that you can use to calm yourself down. Anything that you can do to get the stress or anger out, instead of passing it on and unleashing it on your teammates, is always definitely worth it. So many pointless rounds are being lost in this game because people are always getting tilted, which makes them and their team play way worse as a result. I personally use what nature supplied for me and cut my balls when I'm in between rounds, no lie. Also, as long as you're not being overly annoying, keeping your team in check will be necessary at times and reminding them that it's just a game, and to focus instead of cry can change games a lot. Basically, stay positive, don't be a dick, and hopefully your teammates reciprocate that energy. That's honestly the best you can do, because unless you're an IGL for some sort of team, you really have no control over your teammates' attitudes and behavior, especially in solo queue, so do your best to counteract that. Taking a real third-person perspective on your anger can really help keep yourself in check as well. Instead of crying over your fucking mic like a cuck after you die, take a mental note of what caused your demise and try not to make that mistake again. It really might sound dumb, but taking your failures as a lesson to be learned from, instead of building materials for your salt castle, is always a better route and you'll become a better player as a result. The next section I wanted to go over for mindset is your personal skill and rank. No, you're not stuck in silver because your teammates are all shitty despite your amazing aim and game sense. You suck at the game and you can't aim. That's not me being a dick, that's me helping you really embrace the suck. Once I only accepted the fact that I had a lot of improving to do in this game, was the time that I actually started to improve. Bitching on the internet isn't going to help you either. If you actually want to get a lot better at this game, you have to completely shift the way that you go about playing it. Hopping into an MM game first things first isn't always the best idea. Sounds dumb, but people forget that this is just like any other sport or game, and you're always rusty at first before you're fully warmed up. There's a shit ton of ways to warm up in this game as well that's not deathmatch, so don't force yourself to doing that if you don't like it. Once you find what you're lacking in and start religiously practicing it to improve, you will see some insane skill gains. For example, if your movement is whack, like I said before, try Surf or B-Hop or KZ, and if your aim sucks, try 1v1 servers or Boomio's dual modes. And if you suck at communicating or you're shy, download Tinder. There's not a single excuse you can have about being bad if you've never devoted the time to practicing outside of matchmaking. When you eventually come across a bad game, it's easy to just shut down mentally and stop trying. Even in the face of defeat, you should be able to keep your head up and at least take the time to make up as much ground as possible and do everything in your power to make the loss less devastating. Your teammates might give up and might even go AFK, but you can't let that derail you from the fact that you're playing to improve. Mindset is a huge factor in winning battles. Confidence is really what makes players like Stewie2K and JW shine. They obviously have better mechanical skill than 99% of the players in this game, but they also aren't scared to try risky plays, and they have enough confidence to pull off some really nutty shit. Don't obviously be playing like an idiot 24/7, but if you're on your game, recognize that and step up to the plate. Sometimes being super aggressive and cocky can cause you to destroy the team, and confidence often leads to a much higher success rate in a mental game like CS. Lastly, I really want to go over a couple general housekeeping points that I felt the need to make, since they don't necessarily make you better at the game as a player, but they also make you better as a person. First, don't be addicted to the enemy, winning or losing. This never makes you look good, and arguing over the internet always makes both parties look like chodes. Also, all jokes aside, on a very real note, don't let yourself get controlled by this game. If you're finding that your whole mood can be shifted for an entire day after a bad experience, and you're actually having increased anger in your life because of it, simply take a fucking break. CSGO isn't going away, and it's going to be waiting for you to make your return. But take a couple days off and refresh yourself. Really, it's just a game. And if you're using this game as an out from the shitty things in your life, know that the bad experiences and people you might meet in this game shouldn't be taken that seriously. There's a ton of really fun casual games to try instead of this if it's pissing you off or causing your life to go downhill. Thanks for watching.
Your shit is terrible, shut the fuck up. Talking that back, but you never get bucked. Say that you out here, bitch, you get no love.